In this video, I'll explain the endosymbiotic theory and how complex cells evolved. So the mitochondria and chloroplast have a striking resemblance to prokaryotic cells. Endosymbiotic theory suggests that the mitochondria and chloroplasts evolved from prokaryotic cells that existed millions of years ago. The word endo means inside, and symbiosis means a close relationship between two or more organisms of different species in which both partners benefit. Therefore, an endosymbiote lives symbiotically inside another organism, of which in this case is the mitochondria and chloroplast. Billions of years ago, let's say 3 billion years, the Earth's atmosphere had little or no oxygen. Now, due to the insufficient amounts of oxygen in the atmosphere at that time, the first cells, which are prokaryotic cells, could break down sugar and release energy in the absence of oxygen. So they used to respire anaerobically, and some of these prokaryotes evolved the ability to use energy from the sun to make organic compounds by a process called photosynthesis, and these were photosynthetic bacteria. We are prokaryotes, right? Oxygen, being a byproduct of photosynthesis, was released and slowly accumulated in the atmosphere, and some of these prokaryotes eventually evolved means to use oxygen to break down sugar and release energy. So they say respiring aerobically, and these prokaryotes were called aerobic bacteria. About 2 billion years ago, the primitive eukaryotes engulfed aerobic and photosynthetic bacteria via phagocytosis, and these are the mitochondria and chloroplasts respectively. After engulfing the bacteria, instead of digesting them, which usually happens during phagocytosis, the engulfed bacteria lived inside the host cell and eventually became permanent parts of the eukaryotic cell. As time went on, these turned into organelles like the mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the eukaryotic cells, and the chloroplast, which is a site for photosynthesis in eukaryotic cells. The eukaryotes we know today all depend on the mitochondria for respiration to produce energy, and the chloroplast for photosynthesis, particularly in plant cells for photosynthesis. And in turn for this, the mitochondria and chloroplast get protection from the eukaryotic cell, forming a mutually beneficial relationship, or in this case, an endosymbiotic relationship, forming complex eukaryotic cells. Every accepted theory has evidence, and evidences support the endosymbiotic theory include mitochondria and chloroplast have circular DNA just like that in prokaryotic cells, unlike the linear DNA found in the nucleus of eukaryotic cells. Mitochondria and chloroplast reproduce independently by binary fission just like prokaryotic cells. Both the mitochondria and chloroplast have 70S ribosomes just like that in prokaryotic cells. Mitochondria and chloroplast have a double membrane. However, the outer membrane is similar to that of the plasma membrane of eukaryotic cells, while the inner membrane is similar to that of prokaryotic cells, suggesting that the plasma membrane of eukaryotic cells wrapped around the bacteria as they were being engulfed. So the mitochondria and chloroplast are probably descendants of primitive prokaryotic cells that were engulfed by eukaryotic cells billions of years ago. I had on the endosymbiotic theory. In summary, two tiny cells engulfed by a bigger cell, they live together and form a complex cell. I hope this has opened your mind on the endosymbiotic theory. That's it. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell icon to get notifications every time I release new content. Thank you for watching.